The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
Ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
No doubt. Welcome back from the weekend, man. Welcome into the One Mic with Big Mike show. I, of course, am your host, Big Mike, being heard live right now on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. You can also catch me on TuneIn. And, of course, my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. And for the first time since I've been back, I got the live stream working here on Facebook. Got that popping, so you guys can check me out on Facebook Live. Go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/ the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. You guys can be a part of the show. You can do so in a couple different ways. You can leave your comments below the live Facebook stream. You can also text me at 404-902-8104. Or if you want to get into more of a dialogue with me, or more of a back and forth or whatnot, you guys can jump on in my live interactive chat room. You do so by listening to the show via Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com, or downloading the Spreaker app from your app store. Then once you start listening, if you're listening right now via Spreaker, just click that little thought bubble icon. It'll get you up inside my live and interactive chat room. Also, make sure you guys hit the little heart button as well to indicate that you like the show. You can also tweet the show or Instagram me at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. Yes, indeed, back from the weekend. As far as today's show goes, we got a couple things we got to hit real quick. We got Monday Night Football tonight, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be here all night tonight. But you know, I'll get everything out. I'll get everything out my system. We're gonna talk about protesting, man. That seems to be the thing that's catching fire. The new trend that's catching fire. Everybody wants to protest in and outside of sports. So we'll talk about it at the bottom of the hour, man. My every show feature, which I call On This Day, where I give you guys some historical tidbits and factoids from the world of sports. I'll do that at the bottom of the hour for those of you listening via the podcast. And of course, I got some wacky stuff and just some off the cuff stuff. Some weird stuff happening on social media with me again today. I think this is the fourth week in a row a white person has called me a racist. So that's like, yeah, I'm working on a streak here, man. Like, I think for the fourth week in a row, man, a white person has called me a racist, and I tell you guys all about that crazy ridiculousness as the show moves on. But first, let's talk about, before we get into all that, you guys, if you're listening, whether you're listening live or you're listening via the podcast, make sure that you sign up for the One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League. Just send me an email, man. Send me an email to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Put fantasy football in the subject line. That's MIKE at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE.com. Send me that email, man, so you guys can sign up. I got a couple slots left, and I want to get them filled up this week. The draft is going to be on September 3rd at 4 p.m. after all the preseason games are over with, but I want to get the league filled up this week. I've been talking to my guy, Matt Latowski, my fantasy football expert, trying to arrange the timing with him as far as when he's going to do the show or whatnot. So, you guys go ahead, tell your friends about it. You know what I'm saying? Tell your people that, we're going to have some fun, and I'm going to have some giveaways for you guys. Not no boogie giveaways, some legitimate stuff, man. Like these hats I'm wearing that I wear, not used hats. I'm not going to give you guys used hats. I got some brand new era type situations, man, that I can bless you guys with or whatnot. So, yeah, holla at your boy, man. Let's play some fantasy football this year. Or not, I guess. If the league don't get filled up, I don't know how NFL.com handles that kind of stuff, but if it don't get filled up, I'm not going to be that heartbroken. But I'd like to, I'd like to participate once again this year. So anyway, speaking of participation, something I didn't participate in today, the solar eclipse happened today. And it was weird, man. Like, I knew I would see it, not like live. I ain't buy no special glasses or none of that, but it's on TV, right? I mean, I'm not gonna get a better look than at the HD that's on my TV. So I was like, all right, let me check it out. And I turn on CNN, and there's this black girl on CNN doing the, doing the live hit from Kansas or somewhere. Yeah, from Kansas, I think it was. And when I tell you, this broad was losing her ever loving mind over it getting dark outside during the day. I was so dumbfounded. I was like, what the hell is really happening? Like, how don't I get this? Like, what about this am I not understanding, that people are losing it? And it wasn't just there. Like, these white folks was going crazy because she was the black girl that was in the midst of a bunch of white folks. And they're popping off fireworks. They going crazy. They, white woohoo. They doing all that, the yahooing and all that kind of stuff. They got it straight popping. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, what the hell is happening? And then they went to other locations, and it was more of the same thing. And then you kind of figure out that also, there wasn't a whole lot of bros out there. And white people had actually scheduled vacations around this thing, and they had taken off work to see the eclipse. And I was just like thinking to myself, like, I don't know, this must be something that I'm like totally averse to. Maybe my world just ain't really, I'm not as cultured as maybe I should be. And I found out via, of course, social media, that this is something that I guess the brothers and the sisters wasn't really into either. It was what it was. And, you got the religious folks that was like, it's just showing you how the power of God. Nah, it's science. It's all it is. It's science, and it's angles. It's two objects that are the same shape, that once they get to a certain distance away from each other, based on their distance from the earth, they cover each other up totally. And it happens once every, I guess it happened last time 99 years ago. You know what I mean? It's science. It's not anything supernatural or anything magical. It's science, man. And that's what all the people were on TV talking about. It's science. And it was just the weirdos that was like, see, how can you tell me that God ain't great? Well, I don't know. The people on TV had a real succinct way of explaining it without the supernatural. But, to each his own, I guess. And maybe that's why it wasn't so powerful and moving to me, and people talking about being connected to the universe. And look, man, I'm just trying to live, man. I'm just trying to survive day by day. And if something was gonna happen, you know what I mean? Like cats was on social media talking about getting superpowers. They ain't get no superpowers. Like if something like that was gonna happen, the lotto numbers was gonna hit. By the way, also, I'd like to go ahead and make this announcement right now that this quite possibly may be my last show ever. The lotto, at last I checked, Powerball's $600 million. And I'm not that dude, that lies to himself or other people. The people who say, if I ever hit the lotto, I'm gonna keep working. Lies. Not your boy. I have no problem. With chilling, man. I'm not a person that has to be like entertained and active at every moment of any time of my. Nah, I'm quite fine just chilling. Of course, chilling would take on a new meaning for the kid. But yeah, work, go to somebody's job, do any job. I'm good, man. $600 million. I'm good, man. I'm gonna buy me a Walmart or something, cause you know what I mean, I'm gonna do something like real, just outlandish and ridiculous like that. I'm not doing nobody's job. So yeah, if this episode is the last one, I'll try to make it as average as the other ones or below. Well, I try not to make it below average. I try to make it as C- to C+ as I possibly can. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show, by the way. I appreciate everyone who joins me and everyone listening on demand. The text number for the show is 404-902-8104. I'll try to get some interaction done tonight, talk to some people. Also, make sure you guys jump inside my live interactive chat room. It's here. It's wide open for you. If you're listening via Spreaker, just click that little thought bubble icon you see on your streaming player. It'll get you up inside the live interactive chat room. That simple. Also, make sure you guys are signing up for your free Spreaker accounts as well. SPREAKER.com. That way, when the show goes live at 7 p.m., you get an alert that lets you know it's time to rock and roll, let you know it's time to get it on the best kept secret in sports talk. So moving on, right, past the eclipse and all the weirdness. And the other thing that happened with the eclipse, too, It made white people real sensitive, I guess, because I'm the type of person, like, race and all that kind of stuff is not beyond me, and I'm not, well, if you heard the show before, I'm not beyond approaching the subject of race, especially in a very joking and stupid manner. So today I posted, and like got like hella likes too, which was crazy, that now that the eclipse is over, white people, you can get back to tearing down racist statues now. And like, people got this one dude that came at me with some heat. He's like defending what's the guy's name? General Lee? Is it Lee? It probably ain't Lee, is it? The one that was in Charlottesville, they was trying to take down or whatever. Then my man was like real adamant that this dude, he didn't even own slaves, and the only reason he fought for the Confederate because he was from the South. And I was like, really? This is what's happening right now? Like, this is where you want to plant your flag, homie? You want to plant your, and he's the one that called me a racist. You want to plant your I'm white, but I'm not racist flag on defending the statue in honor of a man who, by the way, did own slaves, but apparently because he didn't purchase them and they were willed to him, that's different. Yeah, man. Weirdos reside online, and they take it very, very seriously. And when this is my advice to you, black folks, white people, you can cover your ears for a second. Just talk. Just let white people talk. You know what I mean? Like, when white people get kind of butthurt about something that you say about race, especially if you're trying to be funny about like slavery or something like that, just keep the conversation going, and eventually they will reveal themselves. That KKK membership card will come on out. Like, my man was like he was real telling me, like, if you even knew about first grade history, it was like, I didn't know they taught history in first grade, but okay, he didn't own slaves. And like, here's the thing, let's get this out of the way before I move on to my conversation about protests and all that kind of stuff. In the South, slavery was the economy. Period. Point blank. We know it for a fact because we know what happened to the economy of the South when slavery ended, or when it was abolished, or when the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, because it didn't end, right away. But we know what happened, and we know the slick stuff that the white people down here tried to do to keep it going with indentured servitude, with apprenticeships, these code words. That was just slavery by another name. By using the prison system the way they do now, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And also, just because someone didn't own slaves didn't mean they didn't benefit from it. Because slave owners had, what are they called? The foremans or whatever. The people who made sure the slaves worked. They didn't own the slaves, but their jobs depended on there being slavery. If you were a cotton seller or whatever, you may not have owned slaves, but the fact that those slaves picked cotton or tobacco or rice or whatever crop was on their particular plantation, you benefited from slavery. So it's like that whole notion of it's not hate, it's heritage. Miss me with it. double gun salute to you, homie. I mean, it's like, and the other point that I made before I just kind of ended the conversation was that, look, it's something that you guys, if you listen to the show enough, you've heard me say it before. Those alt-right, those Nazi cats, right, they're a certain problem, right? But they're not the problem. The problem for us, and by us I mean black people, is the white folks who, in their heart of hearts, they don't think they're racist, but will go balls to the wall defending, the Confederacy, or defending a slave owner or a Confederate general who, whether he was or was not a slave owner, whether or not the Civil War was over slavery, or the rights, the certain rights or whatever. Those are the people you got to worry about, because those are the people, they sit on benches and sentence us black people a lot of times unfairly. Those are the people who will kill you, that are police officers that'll kill you in front of your baby and your woman. And their defense being, I was afraid. I was just afraid of that black guy because, of course, he's black, and of course he probably had a gun because he's black. These are the people who make the laws that say, there's a mandatory minimum sentence, and they take all of the discretion away from the judge, from any judge in any case. These are the people who own these privatized prisons that have to stay full in order to make money. So they use the laws or they lobby for the laws to be as strict as they are in order to fill the prisons up with people who look like me. Those are the people you worry about. These dumbasses marching in the street with tiki torches and whatever. Man, come on, man. Last thing I got to worry about. Like somebody, my man who I used to work with got in on the conversation. He was talking about the statues. You know, people caring about the statues. I was like, I can give a damn about a statue because that's not going to do anything for mandatory minimum sentences. Excuse me. It's not going to do anything for that. It's not going to do anything for income equality. These statues coming down, so what? It's gonna make a lot of white people who are experiencing white guilt. It's gonna make them feel better, and it's gonna make some black people feel better, especially some older black people who know the actual history and who had to live through the history of why those statues were put up. But somebody like me, I'm 40 years old. I was born in 1977. I have like half these things that I'm finding out right now about there being like 700 Confederate statues or monuments up across the country. I knew that. I found it out today, or not today, this week. Before this week, I didn't know anything about that, and it didn't affect my life either one way or the other. Once I found out, or before I found out. But you know, the point I was making online today on Facebook, I was like, well, while y'all at it, don't stop. You know what I mean? If you white people feel that strongly about it, take all them MFers down, all of them. You know, your man Donald Trump's like, who's next? George Washington? I'm like, yes. Yeah, you own slaves? You thought it was cool to have, you know, to own people who look like me? Yeah. Somebody need to honor your ass. I don't give a damn what else you did. But that's my 2 cents on that. Let's move on. Let's talk protest, man, because protest is the new thing, man. And like, well, I guess I've already started talking about protest, but that's the new thing, right? Everybody's got a cause. Everybody's got something they want to do. It seems like every day we talk about this situation with Colin Kaepernick. And it's not even really a Colin Kaepernick situation anymore. I've given my take on that whole issue of him being in the NFL or not. I said months ago in an interview with my man Dave Zirin. I said that I don't think he'll work again. Not in the NFL as a football player, because an example needs to be made. If from the minds of these owners, these Trump supporting owners, an example needs to be made. You can't start letting this thing run amok. I know, of course, they didn't foresee what's starting to happen, or kind of. I'm still kind of. I'm torn, not torn. I'm kind of in objection to, like, kind of the watered down or the dilution of what was once started. You know what I mean? I've spoken about it before. The one thing Colin Kaepernick started by sitting down, away from everybody, sitting alone on the bench during the national anthem. He ended up having this meeting with former Seahawk, former Army Ranger Nate Boyer, right? And so then he decided that he was going to compromise. And at the time when it happened, I was like, don't do that. You know, I understand the reason you would, because people will drown out. They'll try to drown your message out with their nonsense and their hidden racism. But once you start compromising in a situation like that, I don't know how it ends, because people are never going to be satisfied unless you do exactly what it is they want to do. Or if you do something different than you started doing, they'll just take it as a win and give you the L in its place. For example, Colin Kaepernick he started kneeling for the anthem, or during the anthem. But then you had cats like Malcolm Jenkins and those cats, they started raising a fist. And then you had the Seattle Seahawks do this thing where they were linking arms. And I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, all that stuff it's a way to make people on the wrong side of the issue feel more comfortable. And as I see it, the way things change and the way things are made to change is when the people on the wrong side of the issue start feeling uncomfortable. You think those people, you think in the whatever, 60s, they gave a damn if Rosa Parks didn't give her seat up? They just kick her off the bus and get her locked up. But when the boycott happened and that black money, because all these black people didn't have cars and they needed public transportation to get to their jobs and get to where they was going. Once they stopped putting that money in that little till, those people got uncomfortable. You understand? And they had to change the rules because of that uncomfortability. If they were still getting the same money that they was getting, there wasn't nothing have changed. When it came down to voting rights, there's people marching across that across that bridge in Selma. White people got embarrassed. The government got embarrassed when the world got to see how this country was treating its own citizens based on the color of their skin. They got uncomfortable, and then things needed to change because of that. If you go through this situation worrying about how these jackknives, these jackoffs that think, you know what, they're so disrespectful to my country. I love this country and these veterans. For all these people who love veterans so much and care so much about the veterans, tell me why then the suicide rate amongst veterans returning from combat continues to go up. Why ain't nobody looking out for them? Just because you stand up because a public address announcer tells you to at a football game, it ain't gonna keep somebody, man, coming back with PTSD, from killing themselves, not getting the proper care from the VA. But people don't. But that's too heavy of a conversation to have when all you gotta do is say, look at that black kid, look at that black dude down there disrespecting my flag. So, along that same line of the protest or the message being watered down, on, was it Friday? I didn't do a show Friday. Had some issues. As you can see now, I worked this weekend to get them cleared up. Got my camera situation rocking. Had some lighting issues here in the studio or whatnot. Michael Bennett, either Thursday or Friday when I was off, he talked about something that was mentioned last year as well. The white players getting involved in showing support for what was going on in the with the anthem protests, quote unquote, right? So this weekend, Saturday, Justin Britt and Chris Long, who spoke out about the stuff in Charlottesville. He also spoke out last year about the Colin Kaepernick protests. He was the one who mentioned something that I like to talk about, where all these guys, the white players, black players, they call each other brothers. These are my brothers, it's my fam. But in a situation where your fam is hurting and your fam is concerned about something, you're not concerned enough to pay attention or to join in what they're doing. So this weekend, Chris Long and Justin Britt of the Seattle Seahawks, Chris Long of the Eagles, they stood by. Justin Britt stood by Michael Bennett, and Chris Long stood by Malcolm Jenkins. And maybe it's just me, maybe just the a-hole that I am, that says I get frustrated sometimes, for lack of a better word, with when there are issues of race in America. White people get the most credit a lot of times for doing the least. Chris Long put his arm around Malcolm Jenkins. Justin Britt stood beside. He just stood beside Michael Bennett. And it's like, my personality is one that if you're in, you're in. If you're with me, come on, be with me. Let's go. Let's get it. If not, I'm not going to be mad if you just calm down. Now, Malcolm Jenkins and Michael Bennett, they took it two different ways. And maybe I'm seeing things through the wrong lens. You know what I mean? I'm viewing things the wrong way. Michael Jenkins. I'm putting both of these guys together and making a bad wide receiver. Michael Bennett said he got emotional when his teammate stood by him. You know, he felt like, you know, it was something long due. And let me read what was said before I just start, you know, going off the cuff. In the case of Malcolm Jenkins, he said that Howie Long, what's the kid's name? Chris Long. He said he wanted to show that, quote, more white men need to position themselves as allies when we're talking about conversations dealing with social equality, social justice, end quote. And I think what he's saying is right, but I just don't see any. Again, back to my original point, I don't see anybody being uncomfortable with him standing, because he still did the same thing, and he backed it up with a statement that I love the anthem. I'm not going to kneel for the anthem. which then becomes, it's like a white person saying, to Martin Luther King, like, yeah, man, I believe that y'all should have rights, but like, I ain't finna march across that bridge with y'all ass. Then like, who cares then? Like, real deal. Like at that point, like, who cares? Who cares? Malcolm Jenkins cared, obviously, or apparently, because he said, quote, "It changed the dynamic of the whole conversation. I don't know how. I don't know that necessarily we're having a different conversation today than we was having last year at this time." Why? Because now there are two white faces that I don't even want to call it necessarily associated with this movement or with this protest. They're like kind of quasi, like, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, if you ask me. You know what I mean? Like, it's what I was talking about with the stuff in Charlottesville, with all these people on TV, these white people on TV, racism and hate is bad. It has no place in this country. Well, first of all, it does, and it always has. But second of all, that's easy. That's lightweight. You see dudes running around threatening people and saying the N-word and chant stuff about Jews. It's not real hard to be like, you know what? I don't think I want anything to do with that. In the case of Justin Britt, he said, after talking to Mike Bennett, after hearing what Mike Bennett had to say, he said what Mike said and how he said a white player should do it. That kind of triggered in my mind because I see what's going on. We all do, and we all have choices whether to be an example or to be a follower. So whether it's a good or bad in some eyes, I feel like I'm supporting my teammate, supporting why he's doing it and his reasons, and trying to encourage others. The other thing is, don't be ambiguous, man. Say what it is. Cops are killing black kids, beating up black kids, and when they go to trial, if they go to trial, they end up back at the crib. Not guilty. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like the whole convolution of the thing is what's really kind of chapping my hide, I guess is what people say, right? And then Britt goes on to say, I want to support him, but it's not about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless they understand what the hell is going on, it's not about your teammate, man. It's a bigger issue than Malcolm Jenkins. It's a bigger issue than Colin Kaepernick. It's a bigger issue than Michael Bennett. It's bigger than that. He says, I'm from Missouri. I get that things are different in that area than they are in some other areas. Wait a minute. That's where Ferguson is, B. It's like, come on, man. What are we saying here? Like, what you end up finding out sometimes just by listening to people talk is just how oblivious people are. You from Missouri, cuz? And saying like it's just different up here. And I understand Missouri is a big place, but come on, man, that's not like, it's not like you talking about Vermont. One of the biggest and most radical things happened as far as the militarization of the police and the burning and the rioting and all that kind of stuff that happened in Ferguson. That's in Missouri, my man. How are you saying that? I'm from Missouri, but things are just different there. My guy. So anyway, he says he's just trying to understand the issues, trying to educate himself more in the regard of showing support. He says, quote, I'm going to continue to understand what's going on in the world and why it's happening, because none of it's right. I don't know, man. Like, I hope I'm wrong. I'm not a big hope guy, you know what I mean? But it honestly doesn't seem like anything is moving forward other than the visual. There's a different visual to it, but it doesn't smell any different. It doesn't taste any different. It doesn't feel any different. It doesn't sound really any different. It's like doing something for the sake of doing it. You know what I mean? I'm going to take a break, come back. We got to do On This Day, but I want to also talk about another similar situation that happened in Oakland, right across the bay from where Colin Kaepernick played last year, with their quarterback and their star quarterback and their star linebacker, which again, I think is going to further prove the point I've been trying to make with what I've been saying about these white players calling themselves getting involved in this situation. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show. It's live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock, right here on Spreaker.com. You can also download the Spreaker app and tune in, as well as my website. Go to my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. If you don't get a chance to hear the entire show, it is also available on demand on those outlets, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube, and I got the Facebook live stream pumping right now. Facebook.com/1MICWITHBIGMIKE. I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So of course we all know there's lots of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. But here's the thing. This problem is entirely solvable. Seriously, we already produce more than enough healthy, nutritious food in this country to feed every single last one of those hungry kids. We just need a way to get it to them. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is out there every day gathering surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families all across the country. But they need your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're Feeding America.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Now, back to One Mic
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
with Big Mike.
Yeah, Monday. Solar Eclipse Monday. We got some Monday Night Football going on in about half an hour on ESPN. The Browns get to see Myles Garrett. Get to see DeShone Kizer. The ODB, Odell Beckham Jr. That fool. I don't know if y'all saw the video of this dumbass looking up at the eclipse with no glasses on. It's on my Facebook page, man. The number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. You guys can go check it out. That dude is a damn idiot, man. He's a funny cat, man. I like him, man. He has a lot of fun. I don't know if the kid Elijah Manning's gonna play tonight. I don't know what else is there to glean from this game, except for, I don't know, again, Myles Garrett, DeShone Kizer, Odell Beckham if he plays or whatnot. I don't know. Before we went to break, I was talking about the protests and the evolution, the evolutions and the changes that it's going through. Now the latest thing is, we got some white players that are involved in the situation right now, and I'm not sure how I feel about this. So I'm gonna continue the conversation by talking about what happened in the Bay. That was expressly mentioned as not a form of protest, but just the optics of it. You know what I mean? This is why I'm always talking about. This is why I made the statement I made about not watering it down, not kowtowing, not compromising, because from a distance you can't tell the difference a lot of times. But we'll get back to that after we take a look back.
Now, let's take a look back.
On this day.
All right. Got a couple to get through now. On this day in 1901, Joe McGinnity, he got suspended from the National League for punching and spitting on an umpire. Yeah, we'll talk about these crazy ass right in the spirit of all this protest that's going on. We'll talk about these crazy ass umpires. Like I told you, I never talk about baseball on this show until something stupid or crazy happens, and something stupid and crazy happened this weekend. We'll get to it. On this day in 1922, Curly Lambeau in the Green Bay Football Club was granted an NFL franchise. Of course, the Green Bay Packers. On this day in 1926, the Chicago White Sox player Ted Lyons, he no-hits the Boston Red Sox 6-0 in just 67 minutes. And nobody hit nothing. On this day in I put too many on here. I was supposed to have erased some of these. On this day in 1982, Raleigh Fingers of the Milwaukee Brewers, he becomes the first pitcher to get save number 300. On this day in 1985, Mary Decker Slaney, runs the mile in a world record 4 minutes, 4 hours. What is this? 4 minutes, 4.16 minutes, 0.71. I don't know how to read that number. On this day in 1971, going back, everything's out of order here. Laura Ball, at the age of 16, won the United States Women's Amateur Golf Tournament. She was the youngest winner in the history of the tournament. And finally, again out of order. On this day in 1984, Victoria Roach, a reserve outfielder, became the first girl to ever compete in the Little League World Series. The Little League World Series is on right now. It's going on right now. And every year, to me, it gets weirder and weirder how they try to make these little kids, these little fat white kids, so many of them are stars and characters and whatever. Anyway, that's your Monday edition of On This Day. What up, Big L? My homie Big L's in the chat room, man. You guys can join them in there. If you like, just go, if you're not already listening via Spreaker, click on that little thought bubble icon. You know what I mean? It'll get you right up in here. Make sure you click the little heart icon as well to indicate that you like the show. The other way you can get in contact with me is by texting me at 404-902-8104. That's 404-902-8104. Or you can leave your comments, questions, criticisms, whatever, below the Facebook stream, the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. I finally got it working. Shout out to me. You know what I'm saying? Patting myself on the back. I'm gonna go ahead and dislocate this shoulder real quick. All right, let's continue the conversation. Let's continue the serious conversation about the protests that are going on. And I guess the reason I want to have this conversation because maybe someone can tell me what effect they may be having. You know what I mean? Shout out to the New York City Police Department. They did a rally in favor of Colin Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? They want to get him back in the NFL. Here's the thing about that, though. I think it's too late. And I'm a huge pessimist. I admit that fully. I said months ago that I felt like Colin Kaepernick had played his last down of NFL football. And I still believe that right now. Even more so right now. Do I believe it? Because now you got all these other Negroes. You got Marshawn and these cats, taking up the torch. They got to put that fire out as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? I heard Paul Feinbaum today say that he believes because of the stuff that happened in Charlottesville, the stuff that's happening with some of y'all's president, Comrade Orange, that some of these college kids is about to get their thing on when the season starts this week. Yeah, man. It's about to be a real situation. If you don't think that's going to hurt Colin Kaepernick's chances of getting back into the NFL, you a fool. The other point I want to make about the police department and everybody, because they're doing a rally on Wednesday out in front of the NFL headquarters. A lot of civil rights people going to be out there. I guess Spike Lee going to be out there and all this kind of stuff. Here's the real deal. It's too late. Like, y'all should have been on board when I was on board. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as my man opted out of his deal, which, by the way, let's once again clear this up. He wasn't a fool for opting out of the deal. They were going to cut him anyway. It was going to be advantageous if these owners weren't a-holes. It's going to be advantageous to him to get a jump start on free agency before everyone else hit the market. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get cut anyway, this is the reason he redid the deal last year, because he had all these guarantees in it that had to go away in order for him to play, because had he played and got hurt, they would owe him all the money. A lot of stuff that goes into this stuff, man. And for people who claim to be football fans, be fans of the whole entire situation. The business side too, because this is not 1982 anymore. All the stuff, the contract information, it's available to us as fans. And so it becomes incumbent upon you guys to educate yourself and be educated fans. Don't be the stupid Negro who's on Facebook like, I bet he wish he didn't opt out now. No, he doesn't. That had no bearing on what's going on right now. Anyway, but the moment he opted out, and people like me were saying, it's over for him. This is over. He's like plutonium. Nobody's going to want to touch him. Like, this was the time to start protesting in favor of Colin Kaepernick. Having foresight. Because in hindsight, the one thing these rich white folks ain't going to do is make it seem like y'all pressured them to do anything. If anything, it's going to make them more reluctant. It's going to give them a reason to push back even more. Because just like, with the government, right? The government says we don't negotiate with terrorists, not calling people who are protesting on behalf of Colin Kaepernick terrorists. But it's the same principle. Because if you do it once, if you pay the terrorists one time, well, shoot, that worked. Let's come back for more next time. Let's kidnap another reporter or kidnap this person or that person and ask for more money next time. So if these owners, if somebody says, all right, God dang it, if it's going to get these people to shut the hell up, somebody sign Colin, man. Just shut up. Because that's what y'all think. A lot of y'all think that's what happened with Michael Sam. That there was a call, man. I don't I'm not the dude that's going to denounce that. You know, that's an impossible thing to happen. Like for Jeff Fisher and the Rams being in St. Louis, being right up the street from where Mike was saying went to college. It just all kind of fits. If you're a conspiracy ninja, it kind of just fits into the narrative that that's a thing that could be. And a lot of y'all feel like that's what happened. Like the league was like, we don't want this PR thing about this gay dude not getting drafted. Jeff Fisher, you owe us a bunch. Let's run it. You know, he's at the time president of the competition committee and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, help us out. So in the same way that could happen, if you believe that could happen, the same thing could happen in the sense of Colin Kaepernick. But the problem is, no one pressured the NFL to do that. It was kind of an inert pressure. But there weren't no rallies, there were no protests, there were no people talking about the NFL blackout, all this crazy foolishness. Nah, that ain't happening. And also, Big L, have you signed up for my fantasy football league, dude? You know, I just need to know that, man, because I'm trying to get this thing filled up this week. But anyway, I told you I was going to talk about what happened in the Bay. Not Marshawn this time. You know what I'm saying? Marshawn spoke, I guess, but he didn't speak about the situation. He didn't speak about the sitting for the anthem situation. And since I knew it wasn't that, I didn't listen to what Marshawn said. I guess people just asked him a bunch of questions and got the same crap they've been getting out of Marshawn. But anyway, I mentioned Chris Long putting his arm around Malcolm Jenkins while Malcolm Jenkins had his fist in the air. Well, Derek Carr did the same thing. Derek Carr did the same thing with Khalil Mack, kind of. Khalil Mack he didn't put his hand up, he didn't put his fist up, and then he wasn't doing anything. And Derek Carr put his arm around it. And then when they asked him about it, he was very, very, very clear. No. This is in no way a protest. You know, let's get that straight right now. and he gave some spiel about, I just want to show kids, you know, we're an example that a white guy and a black guy from two different parts of the country can be best friends. And I was like, come on, man. Like, no one's talking about any of that. This is not what that is, man. And everything is getting like I'm not going to speak for Colin Kaepernick, but what is he looking at? Because everything is getting convoluted. Like when he was asked about this type of stuff, he was very straightforward and very precise, like laser precision as to what exactly this is. So when the idiots want to start hollering about a flag or a song or troops and all this, people like me who said, did you not listen to him? Did you not hear exactly what he said? This is about police going on vacation after murdering people in cold blood. Sometimes on live Facebook streams. On camera. For the world to see and going home. But now it becomes about people being best friends. It becomes about people like, God, man. This is why stuff don't get done in this realm. And this is why I'm asking the question today. Is it just me? Am I the only one who sees that this stuff is going nowhere? Like, yeah, it's exactly what people keep saying. Well, the conversation, like, man, how many hundreds of years got to go by in this country where all black folks get to do is have a conversation? Because, like, I look at myself, if I'm white, if I'm a white person, if I'm a white whether I'm a white supremacist or just a regular white person, like, your conversation don't threaten my position in this country at all. Keep talking. Keep talking, B. You know what I mean? That nothing is going to change in your life if all you're doing is, like, you can keep talking. That ain't going to change no damn laws. I'm telling you, Big L, you're making a mistake on this one, dog. Because, like, at some point, you're going to come out on, okay, let me let people in on what I'm talking about. Okay, Big L is saying he stand on it. Hashtag boycott the NFL. I'm going in all caps too, so this is serious. I'm going to be doing nothing NFL. I'm putting my money and energy in other places. And look, dude, my man, I can respect that. But here is the issue. If you're doing this behind Colin Kaepernick not playing, and if you're one of those people who's saying, I won't watch or I won't participate or I won't be involved in anything NFL until Colin Kaepernick gets a job, Colin Kaepernick's not getting another job, which means, per se, you're done with the NFL. And look, man, this is one of them things where I got to see it to believe it. You know what I'm saying? I got to see somebody who has been participate, because the NFL has been on the wrong side of plenty of issues past just Colin Kaepernick, not caring about, like, the NFL don't care about women for real. You know what I'm saying? They got in trouble for it. They ran into some PR trouble for it, so now they got to make it seem like they don't care about that. The NFL don't care about weed and drugs. The NFL they care about you getting caught, and the way it looks on the league by you getting caught smoking weed or failing a piss test. So to assume that the NFL some kind of way is going to care about social justice for black people, especially when a lot of their participants come from broken homes. You know what I mean? And they love to, boy, around draft time, or like when somebody signs a contract, they love the profile, like Arian Foster, the struggles his mom's had, Devontae Freeman growing up down there in Liberty City, what's the other, Shane Ray, all these, they pump them out, boy, right and left. They love the story of the poor black kid who's now an NFL star. They love those. They don't never tell the story about the poor black kid who wanted to be one, but then he caught that dope charge. They don't tell that story, though. We're going to leave that one out. You know what I mean? But they love to just herald, those stories, because there's a million of them in the NFL, man. So no, they don't care about. They start putting dads back in the homes. Things might change. I mean, things like kids might have a little bit more sense and say, you know what? Maybe I'll be a lawyer. Maybe I'll be an agent instead of banging my head against somebody as my only way to a better life. Maybe. You know what I mean? NFL can't afford that. They want to keep the conveyor belt of employees coming through this joint. That's why I'm always telling people, don't worry about the NFL going away because of these head injuries and all this kind of stuff. Don't worry about that. Because there are always going to be kids and parents, single moms, or just parents in general who are in bad situations, whose kids have a certain talent that they see as a possible way out of the situation that they're in, and they're always going to be willing to take that risk. So the players and the people are going to be there. It may look a little bit different, you know what I mean? I mean, we're at 70% now. When we talk about black guys in the NFL, that might go up, you know what I mean? As white moms and suburban moms start saying, you know what, I'm not going to let little Ryder go out there and get banged in the head. He'll play flag football or soccer or something like that, but nah, not no tackle, cuz not until a long time from now. So the product may change a little bit. So anyway, back to this whole protest thing. And I know it feels like every show, like I'm kind of in this thing, like, but it changes, man. It's evolving and it's morphing, and it's making me change with it. And I'm noticing the things that are going on, and I'm realizing that there's certain things about these things that people are applauding. You know what I mean? Like, people are giving maximum credit for minimal effort. There's nothing, man. There's nothing hard about putting your hand around your dude. Like, the whole notion that if I get some backlash for this, who? Like, who? Like, what idiot is going to be like, man, I can't believe Chris Long put his arm around Malcolm Jenkins. No one's going to do that. You know what they will do? I can't believe Chris Long sat down for that damn anthem. But he's not going to do that either. He's not. And I say all the time, this is why, let me tell you something. A lot of y'all is mad at Des Bryant. Put Des Bryant in the coon train and all that kind of stuff. I'm not mad at Des. For what? Being honest? Because I'm the guy who says, be in or be out, man. You don't need to have one foot in the door and one foot out. Either come on in or stay your ass out. Des Bryant said, I'm staying out. And here's my reason why. Because none of y'all not paying for Colin Kaepernick stuff. I asked the question a couple shows in a row. How many people, man, have logged on to Colin Kaepernick's website and gave money? It's like a click away. I've done it. It's a click away. Just to give some money. PayPal it real quick. How many have done that? So if Des Bryant is saying, look, man, my owners already kind of put it down and said, look, I know my players ain't kneeling for no damn anthem. Jerry's already said it. You know what I mean? And if you're Des Bryant, you understand, he understands how the contract structure is. There is no security. For these people who like, Des don't have to worry about that. Are you crazy? There's like 12 kids coming out of college next year that are in line to replace Des Bryant. Come on, man. Let's not do that. Act like there's some security within the NFL in these bogus ass contracts. He knows of which he speaks. Nah, man. Until somebody tell me how I'm gonna get this money, and here's the other thing. It's not about the money now, right? Most of the time with people of Dez Bryant's ilk and of his stature in the NFL, these guys are allowed to collect checks a couple of years past where a lot of us think they should. I mean, if you get what I'm saying. Perfect example, Warren Sapp in Oakland, right? Like, Warren Sapp shouldn't have been getting no damn money to play football. He's out there what we would label as stealing, right? But because Warren Sapp has a name and he has he's built up a cachet, somebody, some former coach or some former GM who still likes Warren Sapp will find a place for him, and he'll collect checks for a couple of years after he probably should have stopped. You know what I'm saying? And that's that last little drops, those little drops out of the bucket that these guys want. You let Dez Bryant start kneeling for an anthem or something. Yeah, those drops dry up quickly. Because like I said, a 30-year-old Dez Bryant, yeah, there's like 20, 25-year-olds that'll take his place. Because Thad Lewis is on the NFL roster right now. And Colin Kaepernick's at the crib. You understand what I'm saying? It's that real. Because once the athletic ability drops below the trouble that you're worth, and this is with anything, it's not even just with protesting, with anything. Yeah, it's a real quick and easy decision. They don't get rid of your ass. And then find some young kid to do what you do. Or two. Put two kids together to do the job of one Dez Bryant. And he knows this. So that whole thing where people feel like hella comfortable in risking another man's money, because of course all of you would do the same thing. Sit your ass down, man. None of you know what it is to risk millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? If right now I asked you, if right now you reach in your pocket when you thought you had a 10 in there, and you reaching that and that 10 is gone, you must have dropped it somewhere, you'll lose your damn mind. Much less millions. So no, I don't fault Dez Bryant, man. He's saying with a lot of there's 1,500 athletes, give or take, when the season starts in the NFL. We talking about 3 or 4 that's doing anything, that's protesting in any way. And a lot of dudes, man, like not a lot of dudes is getting passes. Feel me? I mentioned Russell Wilson. Michael Bennett is his teammate. He went to high school in Virginia. They did a protest that same weekend of Charlottesville in Seattle. And ain't nobody heard a peep from Russell Wilson about either situation. And that's fine. That's fine. But while y'all looking at Dez Bryant to lead in this situation, there's some other people, man. If you're that person who's calling out Dez Bryant, there's some other people that you should add to that list that you might be, you might be conveniently omitting. Let's go to the chat room real quick before I end the segment. What's Big L saying? NFL owners and the league is about to fail. That's not true. More kids are doing other sports these days. Most of my friends' sons not playing football. A football lover, but I can do what the NFL does for me. Nothing. Yeah, that's a true statement. I always talk about that when people, these weirdos running around here talking about my team, and like here in Atlanta, it was a big thing this weekend. These cats going down to the dome, and the dome is my dome, my new dome. It's like, them folks ain't putting no money in your pocket at all for all that loyalty that y'all have. If that new dome didn't get the financing, these MFers would be the damn Nantucket Falcons. They'll move this team in a minute. 3 moved in 1 year or 2 years in the NFL. You think they give a damn about fans? Stop playing yourself. So Big L, you're right in that notion. The notion that the NFL is going to fail is not a true one. The numbers don't bear it out. The participation numbers are down marginally, but like I said, it doesn't that part doesn't matter, because they're still going to get numbers, and they're still going to get these kids who look at football differently than look at basketball. The numbers in basketball don't add up the same way. You're talking about 10 people on the court at the time. Like what, 12, 13 on a roster? Baseball, it doesn't add up the same way. You got a bunch of big contracts in baseball, but then you got a bunch of cats who drown in the minor leagues for years and years and years and never see the big leagues. The process is too long. Like I was looking at the 30 for 30 about the U the other day, and I forget who it was, man. I forget who it was that made the statement, but the statement was so ill because Miami had so many players at one time that got drafted in the first round. I forget who said it, and it doesn't matter who said it, but what he said was, within a few hours, me and 8 of my best friends are now worth about $100 million. Like, things change. The NFL changes your life that quickly, much more quickly than baseball, much more quickly than basketball if you're not one of the best to do it. So football is going to be all right because kids and parents of the parents of inner city kids or people who want to get out of bad situations will see football as a refuge. You know what I mean? And there'll always be the Nick Sabans of the world, the Urban Minds of the world to tell you that your son's going to get an education and all these things. That lie will continue to be told to kids everywhere. What else Big L saying? He's in the chat room, by the way. If you guys want to join the chat room, click on that little thought bubble icon you see on your streaming player to get you right up in there. Also, you can text me at 404-902-8104. That's 404-902-8104. You wonder why the NFL Players Union suck. We're going to talk about in the next segment. We'll talk about the Players Union because there's some developments coming on that front as well. Roger Goodell is about to become a richer man tomorrow on Real Sports. After you guys get through wasting your time watching Hard Knocks. I can't do it anymore, man. I can't. Oh my God, I can't do that anymore, man. Because every year it's like the same thing, but like a different storyline. You know, somebody uncomfortably gets cut on television. I guess this year with the kicker, and then you got the kid who everyone's like rooting for to make the team, and they call him in like, yeah, you're gonna be on our practice squad. Like that guy. It's like whatever, man. You know, these cats are playing to the camera, and I'm good. I don't really feel the need. Like the next day, I might, you know, during my reading, I'll read someone's recap of it, but other than that, I'm good. I'm so good. So yeah. And as I wrap up the segment, here's a question I have as far as these protests goes, because it's becoming a thing, right? It's becoming a thing that's being done everywhere. I don't know if y'all saw this, man. These umpires from baseball. One day protest, and their protest was we're gonna wear white wristbands because we're being treated horribly by the players. Did you hear my on this day, the first one? Yeah, dude punched an ump and spit on him. All these guys are protesting is the fact that one of the players criticized an ump, saying he needs to get a new job because he sucks at this one. And he didn't get suspended. He only got fined for it, right? He got fined $10,000 for it. So these dumbass umpires like, we're gonna protest. Here's the deal, real quick. Understand that if baseball ever smartened up and just let technology take over, there was a piece on this on Real Sports, how easy it would have been done, how easy it is to do. Because right now the television stations have the technology. They show you balls and strikes. They superimpose the strike zone, you know, immediately ball or strike. They can do the same things and just have the umpire behind the plate, because you need someone to call outs and all that kind of stuff. And someone up in the booth telling him in his ear, ball, strike. And then you know what you do? You eliminate the whole arguing ball and strike, because you can't argue with somebody that's 100 and something feet up in a booth. Technology would take care of all that, but because these dumbasses got pride and they want to be a part of the show as well, that's half the problem. These dudes want to be a part of the show instead of just showing up and doing your job. The one thing I hate in baseball is when these cats say, like if a pitcher stares at an umpire, you know, after he thinks a pitch is a strike, oh well, he shouldn't expect to get that call anymore. Why not? That a-hole behind the plate need to do his damn job and stop being an emotional little girl about stuff like that. This is why me and baseball would just never be friends, man. We'll never be friends. But anyway, the question that I had in mind is like, who determines when a protest is acceptable? Because here lately, these Antifa cats have been getting a lot of defense. I see white people pulling down statues, and I don't only imagine if it was black folks. Come on, man, it'd be a whole different narrative around it. If these folks that was pulling down statues was running around here wearing Black Lives Matter t-shirts, it'd be a whole nother discussion. But the thing you guys got to ask yourselves is who determines what and when a protest is acceptable. Because, you know, there are people who want to march for free speech. This was going to happen at Texas A&M University, and they canceled it. I'm not for that life at all. Like, I don't care how you feel. Like, I don't care if you hate black people or you hate, but you know what? I want to come back with this. I want to come back with this topic. I want to take a break. Top of the hour here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I want to come back. We're about an hour in. I also want to talk about Anquan Bolden real quick. It was like grand opening, grand closing for him up in Buffalo, and he wants to do some more social work. So we'll talk about him as well here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. I'm here, man, live Monday through Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Nope, that's not happening. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 p.m. on Spreaker, the app. Tune in, and of course, One Mic with Big Mike.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, man, at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Time starts now. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat? Where can you find the answers to these questions?
Car crashes are one of the leading killers of U.S. children. Many of those deaths could be prevented by making sure that kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. That's safercar.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One Mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
They say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One Mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host,
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic.
Yep, 1 hour down. I don't know how many to go. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing the whole nother hour. I might make it. I'm here, man. The One Mic with Big Mike show. If you missed any of the first hour, you can hear me on demand on Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com, or go to your app store. Download the Spreaker app for your mobile device. You can also catch me on TuneIn, OneMicWithBigMike.com, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play, Music, and YouTube. I got the Facebook live stream pumping right now. You can check me out. For you people who love to watch, for the voyeurs amongst you, you can check me out on Facebook.com/1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. Facebook at One Mic with Big Mike on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Get involved with the show, man. Text me at 404-902-8104 or jump inside my live interactive chat room here on Spreaker. If you're listening right now, just click that little thought bubble icon. Boom, you'll be in the building. You can also leave your comments and questions below the Facebook live stream. I had some goofy stuff I wanted to get into, but this conversation about the protests and whatnot are kind of taking me in a different direction. And now the situation as we talk about things like anti what do they call the anti-demonstrators or whatever? I don't know. That's a new thing, a new concept to me. That whole thing about, anti-demonstrators. That's a word that white people use for other white people. You know what I mean? Never ever have I heard that used for black people standing up for anything. But whatever. But I think things at this point, they're approaching, and they may already be here where they just kind of jump the shark at this point. That as long as people agree with you, it's fine. But if they don't, then there's something wrong with them. You know what I mean? Like, people just inherently don't like other people for whatever reason. Color of their skin, their breath stink, you know, they fat, they skinny, they ugly, whatever. There's people who just don't like other people. But as far as being in this country, and as much as people laud that whole notion of freedom of speech, I'm a big proponent of that. Like, I believe people should be able to say what the hell they want to. Look at me. I do this. You know what I mean? So I can't. I'm very against hypocrisy as well. So I don't. If somebody wants to march and say they hate black people, they should be able to do so the same way I should be able to march and say, you know, fight the power or whatever. You know what I mean? People have opposing messages. Grow up, everyone. Like, the problem in Charlottesville, these people showed up with like riot gear and AK-47s and bats and all this kind of stuff, like looking to kick some ass. That's different. But if people are showing up and they just got a message, Klan members and all these kind of things, this is America, man. You know what I mean? Unless you gon' and once you start changing that rule and start like skirting around it, it's a lot of things. You know, people start talking about what you can put on the internet, what you can say to somebody on the internet. That's how the whole concept of like cyberbullying came about. I was like, wait, what? You know, somebody just went to jail the other day. This white girl going to jail for 2 years or whatever because she convinced this dude to kill himself. That's kind of crazy. I still don't really know how I feel about that. Like, how, after reading it and figuring out the dude wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? Not mentally, he wasn't slow. One of those, you know, he wasn't mentally challenged. He was a regular dude. He might have been depressed or whatever, but the fact that you can just tell somebody to kill themselves and they do it, and then you go to jail for it, that's, I don't know, man. That's touchy, because at the end of the day, you killed yourself. You know what I mean? Like, and this is someone also, by the way, apparently they never met. There was like that new age stuff these kids are doing, like online dating. Newsflash: it's not dating if you're only doing it online. Can we go ahead and dispel that myth real quick? You're not dating a person if you're only doing it online. It's not, no, doesn't work that way. But whatever. Who am I to say? I'm a 40-year-old black dude that's got a wife, so whatever. You know what I mean? People are commenting on things that I posted on Facebook earlier today, and folks are so idiotic. Because apparently it was a shock to me. Like, white people took off work for the eclipse. That's something. What the, like, white people was like, look, man, this is gonna be awesome. I'm not going to work today. Work. Meanwhile, black folks was like, shh, crazy as hell. You think I'm gonna lose my job because the damn sun about to get blotted out? No, thank you. But yeah, man, it's America, man, and things like that are real. It's a real deal, Holyfield, man. When you just tell your boss, look here, man, this ain't happened for 99 years. I'm not coming to work today. Deal with it, boss man. He said no black person ever. But shout out to the white folks, man. Shout out to the white brothers and sisters, man. They understand. You know what I'm saying? They understand the leeway and the leverage that they have in this country. Well, some of them do. Others not so much so. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah. The whole notion of like the freedom of speech thing is just it doesn't worry me. I'm not gonna tell that lie, but it's something that I don't think most people are thinking about when they're out just trying to get their message across. When their only focus is their message and their cause or whatever you want to call it. And then you end up with people, you know, getting their rights infringed upon. Like, you know, racist people have rights too. Just if we're gonna be real about it. Especially this one, because for the 4th week in a row, I've been called a racist by a white person. This little white dude, boy, that was so funny. And like my whole objective after a while, I was like, I'm just gonna let this dude keep talking. I'm just gonna force him to keep talking, because I know these black folks that are my Facebook friends are going to see this at some point, and it's gonna get real buck, and it did. It's like folks like start chiming in and start coming at this dude and start posting links and articles about this racist dude, and like, yeah, I just kind of like put my finger up, like in church, and just tipped on out and watched it from the vestibule, watched the carnage happen, because it got weird, man. One of my former coworkers from the radio station chimed in as well, man. One white dude that I work with, and sometimes you can have sensible conversations. But the one thing I'm gonna say this: the one thing that as black people, sometimes we gotta live with the fact that there's no way, as much, no matter how articulate you are, no matter how you try to explain to a white person what you're going through, like, because his comment to me was that we're moving in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like we're it's not like we're going backwards into the world of bondage and chains and whips. And I was like, yeah, not literally, but when you're able to live in this country and ignore mass incarceration and say that doesn't have a direct link to slavery, that's a disconnect that no black person can connect for a white person. Because every black person that's in jail, that's doing 25 years. This one dude in Louisiana is doing 18 years, man, for like a dime bag of weed. 18 years, man. And for a white person or a white American, I can see where you wouldn't see any problems with that. But I see a big problem with that, man. That dude has kids and family. You know what I'm saying? People who love him. And when if you want me to give you the parallel, because white people hate when you make parallels to the world of slavery. You think those slaves got beat just because of the pain factor? No. There was so many things that happened to slaves, and I would challenge anyone listening to me right now. Me and my wife went to Charleston on vacation a couple years ago, and the one thing I made sure we did two things. We went to a plantation. We went to an actual slave plantation, the Magnolia Plantation. I remember it because it's like the Magnolia Projects for like Lil Wayne. We went to the Magnolia Plantation, which was a crazy experience because they keep it the same way as much as possible. They keep it the same way it was like many years ago. The homes that they lived in, all that stuff, man. You get to walk in there, you get to just experience it. And we also went to an auction house, a slave auction house that is now a slave museum, owned by these two wonderful gay dudes, man. It's a biracial gay company. It's not biracial, a mixed gay couple, a white dude and a black dude. It's like awesome. And it was like the nicest two dudes ever. And I'll challenge anybody to go and experience that. You get to see for yourself that it wasn't just always about inflicting the pain, because like, think about it, man. Think about like being a kid getting a whooping. After a while, like your mama couldn't hurt you no more. But just think about getting that whooping with like something that was going to make permanent marks. That's what it is with black people in incarceration. You're never ever allowed to walk without those marks anymore. The reason they used to brand runaways with that R on their face. They would maim you by cutting off your foot or something like that, like Kunta Kinte. You know what I mean? So you would always carry that with you forever and ever and ever. This is the problem with the quote unquote correctional system in this country, especially as it relates to black people. We get unfairly sentenced so many times, unfairly convicted, and then once you quote unquote paid your debt to society, you're never paid up, ever, because there's so many things that you can no longer take advantage of. You can't get no more public housing, no more public assistance, get a job. Who? Dude, I was watching Lock Up one time. I watch it like every weekend, at least like parts of it, even though it don't come on, like there are no more new episodes. I saw this dude talking about while he was in the bank, this white dude, talking about how he didn't get out of jail for a year and already had a job lined up. Already. I was like, come on, man. That can't be real. And it was like the real deal Holyfield, man. This white dude was like, yeah, I ain't worried about it. He was working in one of the metal shops in jail. And was like, yeah, I'm just in here making sure I keep my skills up. I was like, my man. This is why in America that, what they say, not what they say, it's factual, that a white man with a record is still more likely to find a job than a black man without one. Because guess what? My skin is my crime. Oh man, how'd I get off on that? Let me get back to my notes, man. So Anquan Bolden, by the way, Yeah, you realize this thing in Buffalo. Yeah, I'm all right. I played my 14 years. I'm 36 years old. I'm an activist. I'm all up in like Capitol Hill trying to get policy stuff changed and whatnot. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a career. And shout out to Anquan Boldin, man. Like, I don't know how many of you guys remember this far back, because like it was 14 years ago, man. I think Anquan had like 2 knee surgeries while he was at Florida State. His final game there, I think the starting quarterback got hurt. The backup quarterback got suspended for gambling. And then Anquan Boldin, the starting wide receiver, played quarterback in their bowl game, like the Sugar Bowl. Not even like a pissy little bowl, like the Sugar Bowl. Then Anquan showed up at the combine. Anquan's already a big receiver, right? But 2 knee surgeries. He like ran a like crusty 40 time. Like it was like 4.8, 4.7, 4.8. And people was like, oh my God. Possession receiver at best. We'll try to make him, some special teams or something. And then Anquan Boldin stepped on the football field for the first time for the Cardinals and caught like 200 yards worth of balls. First game out the box. And here we are 14 years later, man. That dude made a couple Pro Bowls. Got him a Super Bowl ring. Shout out to him for that. And it's been he was the Walter Payton Man of the Year one time as well. And people gotta do this whole thing every time, right? It's like the reflex. Is Anquan Boldin a Hall of Famer? I don't know. Hell, Terrell Owens ain't a Hall of Famer. let them tell it. So I've told y'all this before, and this is where see Big L, my protest is like in pieces and morsels. Like I don't have to like bite the whole chunk of cake, just like the morsels of it. I don't mess with the Hall of Fame anymore. It's a farce. The fact that Terrell Owens and these people have these personal biases against this dude, you know what? Yeah, the whole thing is thrown off the rails now. Morton Anderson, the kicker, and Terrell Owens, no. So now everything is like, you can ask the question all you want to, is Anquan Boldin a Hall of Famer? I don't know. I don't even know what a Hall of Famer is anymore. I don't. So like I'm out of that game. Anquan Boldin is awesome. He was, very, very good NFL wide receiver. I refrain from using the word great because I reserve that for the guys like Chris Carter and guys like Jerry Rice and guys like Steve Largent and Terrell Owens and Randy Moss. I use the word great when it comes to those guys. Anquan Boldin, very good, man. Very good and very productive. And he's looking to be more productive. You know what I mean? Off the field, now that his career is over. He's looking to focus on more of his advocacy stuff, if I can say it in English. He says, quote, "Football has afforded me a platform throughout my career to have a great impact on my humanitarian work. And at this time, I feel drawn to make a larger fight for human rights a priority. My life's purpose is bigger than football." Shout out to him, man. Shout out to Anquan, man. And, the best to him. Not that it, if I wished him the worst, not that it would make an impact on what he's doing, but, shout out to him, man, and understanding that, it's time to walk away. That Buffalo situation, Tyrod's been stinking it up. I don't want to hear no crap about nobody telling me that ain't got no type of impact on what's happening with this retirement. He's looking like, man, I ain't gonna catch no balls up here, man. I ain't doing nothing but freeze my balls off up here. I'm out. Bye. Oh, speaking of, before I move on from this this whole situation with the protest and whatnot, I gotta mention Doug McDermott, the coach for the Buffalo Bills, since we there. One of his players, Cameron Jefferson. Probably never heard of him. That's the other thing I want to get this across too, because I heard this weekend, and it came from people who don't normally talk about football, right? And they start talking about how superstars are starting to get involved in the protests. All right. This is going to sound disrespectful, but it's not. Malcolm Jenkins is not a superstar. Chris Long is not a superstar. Marshawn Lynch is not even a superstar. Marshawn Lynch is a 30-year-old running back. That's all he is. Like, of course, he's got like these seminal moments and these big-time runs and all these things. But in the world of superstardom, NFL-wise, we got to be talking Cam Newton, cuz. We got to be talking Tom Brady. There's only a few. Just because like you know their names doesn't make them a superstar in the league. You know what I'm saying? That's a false narrative that I heard spread all this weekend. So definitely not a superstar. The Bills' offensive tackle, Cameron Jefferson, he threw his fist up in the air. They played the Eagles. He saw Malcolm Jenkins. His quote is actually, "I saw him across the field and I felt inspired. I feel like it's my duty as an athlete with my platform to do anything I can do to help people in need against police brutality in the black community, the black and brown communities." But you see how he is exacting in what he's saying. I'm not supporting my teammate. I'm not trying to understand the issue. Very plain and simple. He said, police brutality in black and brown communities is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, this is a dude who, by next week or in 2 weeks, could be looking for work. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to be because of his coach, presumably, right? His coach, Doug McDermott, said he spoke to him. He spoke to him the day before it happened or the day after it happened. And when we talked, he says, quote, when we talked, then we talked about it as a team. What I want all my players, what I want all of our players to understand is that we are going to support them. Number one, everyone obviously has their view on things, and I think the key word is respect. He's right. We respect Cam's opinion. We respect and acknowledge what's going on, and it's important that we can communicate. And a big part of communication is listening. And I did a lot of listening yesterday. To me, that's a mature thing to say, man. You know, he goes on to say, quote, when a player or anyone in this case takes an initiative to make a stand for something, if it's ethical, of course, you don't want people standing for like human trafficking or, you know, anything like that. He goes on to say, I want them to know that I'm going to support them and we're going to support them. You ain't heard that from any team. You know what I mean? Like you've heard people say, you know, well, it's their right. But no, that's their right. You ain't heard nobody on no team, no coach, no GM, nobody say what this kid Sean McDermott is saying. Like, if you're doing it and you believe in it, and of course it's ethical, we're gonna support it. We're gonna support what you're doing. So shout out to them, man. And this kid, Cameron Jefferson, you know, I don't know who he is, but you know, I root for him, man. I root for him to make the squad, man. I'm not sure that I don't know what his status is with the team, but you know, I root for the kid to make the squad now, man. That, you know, he's putting himself out there. He knows the risk at hand, and it will be a shame for, you know, what Coach McDermott is saying not to be true. And I have no reason to think it's not true. You know what I mean? Again, he'll be a kid that gets cut. Somebody will mention it, and it'll become a bigger story. And people will be like, he's the guy who put his fist up, and now look at him. He doesn't have a job. When at this point right now, no one knows how good or bad he is. I don't. I mean, I don't know how good a lineman, good a tackle or bad a tackle he is right now. But it does give me reason to possibly do some research. Okay, so Eli Manning is playing. It looked like I saw number 10 out there. This is his preseason. Yeah, he is. So this is preseason game number 2 for them. And we're a couple minutes into the first quarter. So he'll probably just play a little while longer and then be out of the game. I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. So I mentioned a little while ago. And by the way, this is the One Mic with Big Mike show. Spreaker.com is where you can hear me. The app, tune in, OneMicWithBigMike.com as well. Also, don't forget about the One Mic with Big Mike Fantasy Football League. Big L, if you're not playing, man, tell your folks to holler at me, man. Your people. Don't deprive your people of this Fantasy Football League. I got to get it filled up, man. So if you're not going to play, you know, other people that you know that ain't fooling with this protest stuff, not to belittle it or anything, but not fooling with the NFL boycott or blackout NFL blackout situation. Yeah, tell them to holler at me, man. Send me an email to mike@onemicwithbigmike.com. Put fantasy football in the subject line. I'll send you over the link to sign up for the Fantasy Football League. I think it's like 6 slots left, 5 or 6 left for the 12-team league. So we almost there, but I just want to get it done and out of the way this week for the September 3rd draft. More NFL news, man. DeMaurice Smith, or DeMaurice, or whatever they call him. He's going to be on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel tomorrow, one of my favorite sports shows. He's going to be on there tomorrow talking cash-ish about, you know, the commissioner, about what he foresees for the league and the union coming up here in the next couple of years. I mentioned earlier that I guess Goodell He's either still about to sign him a 5-year extension, taking him through 2024. My son has made $210 million over his decade as commissioner in the league. By my public school math, that's like $20 million a year. And they say it should go up to like around 30 or so. And as a true Gestapo gangster, you guys will no longer know how much money he makes going forward with this extension or anything, because they had tax exempt CP 503, I guess is what it is. They had the exemption, right? Which made sure they made the, his salary public. Well, he took the tax exemption off of the league, so now they pay taxes, but now they don't have to disclose any financials, especially his salary, and a true gangster move. But anyway, if you're an NFL fan, you know that there is a very tumultuous relationship between he and the NFLPA executive president or whatever he is. DeMaurice Smith. I'm sorry, I was reading what Big L said. Big L is on my Facebook page. All those flyers that you see with the little sexy girls on it, the latest one has like Beyonce on it, and it says fantasy football on it. Yeah, the flyer is on there. I'll send it to you. I'll put it on your feed or whatever it is. Be when I'm done. Thank you, man. So anyway, he's gonna be on Real Sports tomorrow, and he's anticipating. DeMaurice Smith is anticipating a lockout, and it's like, no duh, B. if you're an NFL fan, if you don't see this coming, if you ain't see this coming, like what was it, 01? When did they sign this last? 08 is when they signed this last deal. If you ain't see this coming, man, this whole 10-year deal with no opt-out in it, we're gonna have a decade of labor peace. Yeah, the players got took to the cleaners, cuz. And I was like, we was on the radio at the time. Me and Rob was on the radio. Me and my man Rob Calloway was on the radio at the time. And I was like, it's a decade. So everyone, this is when Cam and Andrew Luck and these cats was coming into the league. I was like, understand this, everyone who's negotiating this current deal, the deal that they're in now, will be out of the league by then. So the owners will still be here. These old bastards ain't gonna never die. Yeah, they gonna be here. So they gonna be negotiating a new deal with players who've never done it before. You think they got railed last time? So anyway, he's on there. I guess he's talking to Brian. Yeah, he's talking to Brian Gumbel. So that should be a good interview. He blamed the owners for opting out of the previous agreement in 2008 because they were greedy. You don't say. You don't say. He was asked to defend the 2011 CBA, and he said he likes all aspects of the agreement. That's kind of weird to hear him say that he likes all of it. Goodell with all that power and the stuff that he's able to do, and the fact that the contract still ain't guaranteed, and how you like all of it, cuz? But whatever, I guess, man. He's up for re-election next year. Like, this is different. This is not like Goodell. They have to elect a what is his position, by the way? I don't even remember. He is the executive director, the NFLPA executive director. He's up for election. I remember last time when he was up for election, there was a couple of players that were in it, that were former players. I mean, that were trying to get the job. But this dude is like a lawyer. Like, he's like mad smart. He knows all this negotiation stuff. And also, I don't know if it hurts or helps the Players Association. When Gene Upshaw was, he and Tagliabue had a cool relationship, so they were able to do like the push pull thing, and then find their way to the middle a lot of times. With this dude, with DeMaurice and Roger Goodell, they don't get out at all, man, at all. Last week you heard me talk about the whole Ezekiel Elliott thing. They're going back and forth about that. DeMaurice, in this interview tomorrow, you're gonna hear he calls Roger Goodell a liar. He says, Brian Gumbel asked when Roger Goodell can stand up there, and as he did, and say we're drafting a new NFL personal conduct policy, we're going to do so in conjunction with the union, and then doesn't consult the union, comes up with a new policy that says what? DeMaurice said it says that he lied. Period. Yeah, these dudes don't get along, man. and it's not going to turn out well for the player. Like all this stuff that they're getting or supposedly getting, Roger Goodell saying like we'll consider marijuana as a pain, marijuana for pain, or the players will be able to wear. I don't know if I did this story last week. The players will be able to wear personalized cleats and all this kind of stuff. Like all that stuff is going to cost you in a negotiation, because all they're going to come to the table with is, well, we gave you this. What you going to give us? Some of this HGH testing. What we got here? You know, money, a bigger percentage. Like you got to give us something back if you want to wear these special cleats. Anyway, let's take a break. Last one of the show. We can get out of here and watch some football. Watch the Brock Wilder throw ground balls to his wide receivers here on Monday Night Football. Oh man, they talking about this kid Deshaun Kaiser, man, is not gonna be their starter, but God, Brock Osweiler is just bad at playing football in the NFL, man. He's just bad at playing NFL football. What else you gonna say? So anyway, we'll come back. We'll wrap the show up. I don't know if I'm gonna take it all the way to the top of the hour, but we will see, man. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show here at Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app. Tune in. And, of course, One Mic with BigMike.com and live right now on Facebook. I'll be right back.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertiser. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try. He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love, because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Coast to Coast Mixtapes.com.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back as we close up shop here. I'll get ready to here on a Monday on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Don't forget to follow me, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at @1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. The show is available on demand for all of my shows are available on demand. If you guys want to go check them out on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and like and all those things and follow as well, man. They're also available on Spreaker. The Spreaker app, download that, tune in, and of course my website, onemicwithbigmike.com. You want to hear the most Florida thing ever in the history of ever? A couple transporting a barbecue grill was injured Sunday. This was last Sunday after their rental SUV exploded. I hope they got the insurance. Authorities say the crash happened at about 3:30 p.m. near the entrance of Central Florida Fairgrounds near Colonial Drive and Pete Parish Boulevard, if you know what that is, people in Orlando or wherever. The couple identified as Pierre something. They got some funny names. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce these. Anyway, they had a barbecue grill in the back of their red Kia Sorento rented. The grill was turned on and the propane tank was open and connected. The wife went to light up a cigarette and the SUV exploded. The vehicle. Oh, wait a minute. They were driving it. The vehicle continued heading westbound and crashed into a pole. Both people inside the SUV were burned, but police said their injuries were not life-threatening. I guess I should have probably got to that part before I started laughing. They didn't die. Oh, boy. Only in Florida, man. It's like, you know what, honey? I'm going to rent a car and go down to the fairgrounds. Throw the grill in the back. But go ahead and preheat it now so when we get there, it's ready to go. Good. You know what else I'll do? I'll have a cigarette. Crazy white people. I don't even know if they're white. I'm assuming this, but I don't know. Certain trends lately have just went the other way. Just went out of my favor. Like, I don't know if you heard about this congresswoman, or I don't know if she's a senator or a congresswoman or something. She's some government official. After the stuff happened with Donald Trump, you know, sympathizing with the white supremacists, how she let her inner monologue become her outer monologue. It was like, I hope he get assassinated. And I know everyone's angry and mad, but you can't be saying that. You definitely can't be saying that, black woman. And I found out today that she was black. The whole time when I heard it last week, I was like, God, let this be a white woman. Or yeah, because I knew it was a woman. Let it be a white woman. And I saw her on my Facebook today. Or no, it wasn't even on my Facebook. It was in my reading, getting ready for the show. And she's black too. She's black. She's like got the natural hair. She's got she's not like dark skinned, but she's like, you can tell she's a woman who embraces her blackness. And she said that, and I was like, not a whole lot of people really mad at you, but it's one of those things like people feel like they're obligated to be mad because he is some people's president, and you can't really be talking about people killing the president. Yeah, it's like, it's just a faux pas, and people want her to resign. She's like, hell no. You know why? Because when my man Barry was getting the most death threats in U.S. presidential history, when folks was out here disrespecting this man while he was doing his State of the Unions, you know what I mean? White women pointing they finger in his face like he's a boy, and nobody say nothing. No, this sister better not resign. Give up her post. Screw Donald Trump, man. I said today on Facebook, I hope his dumb ass look up in the sky to that damn eclipse and go blind. I don't have no position to resign, but you know, whatever. Screw him, man. Like, this whole notion that people want you to respect somebody because of what title they have, or love something that don't love you back. You're talking to the wrong one. I don't. Yeah, my mind don't work that way. Nothing about me agrees with that notion at all. All right, got a couple things, and I'm gonna get the hell up out of here, man. I found this to be funny as hell last week. Couple things funny last week. I don't know. Did y'all see my man Tiger Woods when he got pulled over and he had to go to jail, and he said, you know, I had a bad reaction to my pain medicine? Yeah, you would have one when your ass is on hydrocodone, hydromorphone, freaking Xanax, Ambien, and weed. Yeah, you gonna have a bad reaction to something. That was the toxicology that came back after that arrest. It's like, man, Tiger lit. Now you got, oh man, Tiger need help, man. I hope he get help. Look, man, I don't feel no different about Tiger than I feel about people like Johnny Manziel or whatever. Those rich people problems. Like, you know what I mean? Poor people have dependency problems but can't afford to get the proper amount of help they need to save them from those addictions. These are people who have means. If they decide to ruin themselves based on their addiction, knowing the things that it's going to get them into and the things that it has gotten them into, yeah, I don't hope nothing. Do what you do. Stay out from behind that car so you don't kill somebody else. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if Tiger Woods end up in a ditch tomorrow, with a needle sticking out of his arm, like, look, man, that's effed up for Tiger. But man, why he ain't gonna get help? Why all these people who hope and care for Tiger and all that kind of stuff, why they ain't gonna get this man help? So yeah, you ain't gonna get me crying about these rich folks. Oh my God, I can't play golf anymore. Dude, you done made $1 billion. Calm down. Get over yourself, B. You're one of the greatest to ever do it. No, you weren't able to meet expectations that other people set for you as far as beating, was it Jack Nicholson? Is it Jack Nicholson or Arnold Palmer? Whoever. One of these white boys, records. They records for majors. So what? None of those dudes. Collectively, I don't believe both of the dudes that I mentioned collectively made half the money that Tiger Woods made. Yeah, you had missed me with the bull. Yeah. And it's like, look, if Tiger Woods just out here partying with one of the white girls he like to smash, that's a different story too. I ain't mad at that either. You know, you hanging out with your white hoes and they got hydrocodone and they got hydromophone and what is his other name? Xanax and Ambience and all, and then you get high smoking weed. Like, look, hey, hey, when in Rome, cuz do as the Romans do. I don't know, you know, I don't live that life. So either way, you know, if that's what my man want to do, fine. Just like I say, man, stay your ass from behind a car, man, from behind the wheel of a car, man, so you don't kill somebody else being stupid. That's all I'm saying. But if you just want to go get high with your white hoes, or if you got a real serious addiction problem, either way, handle it. Handle it. You got the resources, my man. Handle it. Serena Williams is pregnant as hell. You guys know that. She want to come back for, I forget which one of those majors, but it's only in a couple months after she's due to give birth to a human baby. And she talks about that, that she wants to set that goal for herself, but it's not something that's written in stone. But the other thing she said that I found that was so funny and hilarious, and this is why I love her, man, that she knows she's perceived as being mean because she's black. Like, how much more direct or how much more real can you be than to say that? But like, look, who gonna argue with it? You know what I mean? She says, quote, "I feel like people think I'm mean. Really though, really tough and really mean and really street. I believe that the other girls in the locker room will say, quote, Serena's really nice, but Maria Sharapova, way to throw her under the bus, Serena, I love it, who might not talk to anyone, might be perceived by the public as nicer. Why is that? Because I'm black, so I look mean." Yes, indeed. You damn right. Call these MFers out, man. See, this is that subtle racism, man. This is what she's talking about, man. That it's not the overt, Jews won't replace us. It's not that. It's what she's saying. It's like, I'm the black girl from Compton who's crip walking at the Olympics, which was one of the most awesome moments of my sports watching life, to watch the faces of white people like, what? Is she throwing gang signs? Yes, she was. Yeah, for her to just come out and say, man, this is what it is, man. Y'all think I'm this mean chick because I look this way, because I'm imposing, but really it's the white girl that's taking the roids. That's Sharapova, right? Sharapova, the one that got caught with the steroids or the PEDs. She's the one that's a real bitch, is what Serena's saying. That ain't my words. I don't know this broad. But, you feel me? Let me clean the plate. Let me make sure I get everything out, because then I'm going to get the hell out of here, man. I kind of wanted to talk about Game of Thrones a little bit, man, just because it's coming to an end tomorrow or next week. And it's weird because I've watched every episode ever of Game of Thrones. I even watched some episodes twice, and I still don't necessarily completely understand what the hell is going on, all the lineage and all that. I just think it's an awesome show. To me, that's the marker of how awesome the damn show is, because I really kind of don't understand probably 35% of what the hell these folks are talking about. The people who really are into the book and all that kind of stuff. But the show is just, man, it's just crazy awesome. It's if you're not in the Game of Thrones, you losing, man. I don't mess with Power no more. I know that's one of those black things that you can't say, I don't watch Empire. I've never watched an episode of Empire. Look, Big L, Power. Power's the dumbest show ever. It makes no sense ever. And once it started going down that road of being just pure D stupidity, I was like, all right. Once my man got locked up, once the ghost character got locked up, I was like, come on, man. This is just the writer of the show, the writers, they just needed him in jail to forward the story. You know what I mean? But in reality, the way, this dude, his name is Ghost, right? Which would imply that he's this guy that's he's everywhere, but he's never seen. But that's not how the storyline plays out. This dude is at the top of the food chain of his dope empire, but he running around in the streets killing corner boys and breaking into people's houses and murking people. He's doing work like a soldier. Come on, man. None of that's real, man. And the way he gets caught is by not sneaking in, but sneaking out of an apartment and using his bare hand on glass, taking off a glove Like he could have just left the apartment. He had to close the window. Like somebody comes home like, oh, somebody broke into my house. So what? They don't know it's you until you take your glove off and put your hand on the glass. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm good. Everyone on that show is an idiot. The kid is an idiot. His wife, he's an idiot. The chick that's the DA or whatever, the little Puerto Rican chick, she's an idiot. Everyone on the show is stupid. Yeah, I feel that. I just, my intelligence doesn't, like, if something's gonna be that bad and fake, I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just watch that because it's supposed to be like fake and stupid and unrealistic. It's a fantasy show, so like, yeah, cool. I'll run with that. You know what else I mess with? I mess with Ray Donovan. Like, that white boy is cold as hell, man. Ray Donovan is an ill individual. He's more of a Ghost character than this bum, the bum that plays Ghost. Like, he need to have a different name too, by the way. Ghost is not proper. Because, like, when I first started watching the show, I was like, all right, I understand the premise of the show. Like, he's this dude he's in mainstream America. This guy, Jameson Patrick, no one will assume is him. This N-word is on the damn subway going to kill people. You know what I mean? Like, come on, cuz. How you don't have people putting in this kind of work for you at this stage in the game? But anyway, dude done fell in love with a chick, like put down his bottom broad that got all his secrets. This dude was gonna run away with this Puerto Rican chick that's the Fed while he's moving weight. Come on, cuz. Not to mention, he didn't help homeboy bury his old lady after he choked her out. Have they found her yet, Big L? Has anybody dug her body up yet? The chick, Holly? You know what I might do? I might watch this. I might binge this whole thing when it's over with. After if everyone has told me what's happening. Because I don't care about spoiler alerts and all that kind of stuff. Like, especially about that show. I don't care. You can't spoil nothing for me. So whatever. I think that's it. I wanted to make fun of the Falcons. I did. Not the team, but no, not yet. They hadn't dug her ass up yet. This broad just goes missing. I bet they ain't even mentioned her no more in the show since then. This broad done been in police custody. They know who she is. Now all of a sudden she's gone. There's Magic Johnson. Last thing, yeah. Last two things out of the world of the NBA. The Lakers, the Pacers, actually, they snitching. Talking about the Pacers. The Lakers have been tampering with Paul George. And it's like, really? Like, that's the thing. The Lakers are tampering, and it's like Magic. Like, that's the problem when you have a dude like Magic, though, right? That's heading up your operations as a team. Magic is everyone. It's like, it'll be like in football if Deion Sanders was your damn GM. Like, Deion he's like calls all these dudes his kids and my babies and all this kind of craziness. To have him as your GM, there's going to be tampering. There's like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know what I mean? These dudes already have these pre-existing relationships, or if not a relationship, there's this reverence about who Magic Johnson was as a player that has, this is why he has a job, basically, right? Because people, and if you like players and great players, will be drawn to the organization now that a Laker great, an NBA great, is at the head of it. So, like, this whole, like, tampering situation, and like, whatever. And then they keep playing a clip of him on Jimmy Kimmel like that has anything to do with it. According to Ramona Shelburne of ESPN, the claim was filed around draft time. And I guess it had something to do with the fact that when the Pacers let it be known that Paul George was going to be available for trade, how the Lakers came with like a bullcrap trade, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll give you Swaggy P and $100 for Paul George. And they was like, come on, man. Like, what do y'all know? And apparently, I mean, it wasn't even like something that they had to have inside information about. Paul George was like, I'm not coming back to Indiana. He said it. And he said he wanted to play at the crib in LA. You know what I mean? So what tampering need to be done? Like, really, the only thing that you really need to not do is F it up. Inevitably, just don't. It's like with dudes and girls, right? Dudes who, trying to holler at chicks. It's like, for the younger cats, if you single out there, understand this, man. A bride knows if she's gonna give you something, right? Basically, your job is just not to say or do anything to F that up, period. And then you'll be in the game. That's all she waiting on. Like, she want to, but she don't want to be no hoe either. So as long as you like play ball, stay on track, stay on message. There he is, ODB, old dirty bastard. Yeah, you stay on message, you be in the game. But so many times dudes try to go extra hard and be extra cool and whatever, and then it's not even worth it to her anymore. And then she goes home frustrated, and you go home like, man, what happened? You happened. That's what happened. Oh, some other little, I don't know, controversy. They want to make this into a controversy, the whole Kyrie Irving thing. Apparently, around the same time, draft time, they saying that this Kyrie Irving trade demand thing it stems from LeBron James pushing for a Kyrie Irving trade during the draft, or, you know, I guess in and around the draft, and Kyrie got wind of it. Oh man, Odell, he went down hard, man, like awkwardly, not hard, but awkwardly, and I was wondering if he was gonna get right back up, but yeah, he's down. Odell Beckham, the old dirty bastard, is down in a damn preseason game after his ass was looking up at the damn oh yeah, ooh, he went, ooh, if you guys just saw that, man, how he just hyperextended that knee, that don't look good. That's a bullcrap play too, man. That's a DB and a wide receiver. You can go high on him, man. Yeah, that's a bullcrap play. We're gonna be talking about that on Wednesday. We're gonna be talking about that. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out with me on a Monday, man. If you're listening to the show live, I appreciate you. Big L, appreciate you for joining me, man. I always appreciate you guys giving me your feedback and your interaction and whatnot. If you're listening to the show on demand, don't forget, even if you're listening on demand, man, you can send me your text messages at 404-902-8104. The text line is always open for anyone. All the people who checked in and viewed the Facebook live stream, appreciate it. Hope it works again on Wednesday, you know what I mean? Then again on Friday as well. And I hope it continues to work, man, because it's just another outlet for me to get my thoughts and, you know, whatever out of here, man. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Don't forget, the show is available on demand for you and yours to share and all those things on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. Make sure you sign up for your free Spreaker accounts, man. That way, when the show goes live at 7, you guys get an alert and let you know it's time to rock and roll. You can jump on in the chat room or whatever. We can have it out and have a good time and whatnot. Download the Spreaker app. Get that TuneIn app if you don't have it. And make sure you check out the website, onemicwithbigmike.com. I got to do a better job of updating it and getting it straight. I'm going to be sending out some more requests for interns or whatever, so I can get my website situation good. And I'll spend more time, you know, dealing with guests and getting guests on the show and whatnot. Also, man, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And of course, the stream will be up. The replay of the stream will be up on my Facebook, One Mic with Big Mike. Same for my Twitter and my Instagram. So until Wednesday, man, until Hump Day, you guys be safe. Enjoy this football tonight, man. And remember, all you need is one mic.